Hey, World Entertainment, and hot on the heels of all this crazy news surrounding Paramount and Star Trek, including Paramount possibly being up for sale, then the shares of power in it are up for sale. Then, of course, was Star Trek itself up for sale. Then came the story that all the movies from Motion Picture all the way up to Nemesis were removed off of Paramount and given to Max, so only the J.J. Abrams 3 movies would remain. And then, of course, the other day we get the story that Patrick Stewart came out and said, well, they're giving me a script this week for a Picard movie. Well, it's that time of year again where Paramount just starts announcing tons of crap that we're probably never going to see, because they've just announced not 1 but 2 Star Trek movies are in production. And before we move on, I'd like to say set phasers to subscribe. Go on, let's do it. And the first one you're going to hear about is just a mind-bending. What are they doing? What are they thinking? And why would they ever even contemplate doing that? As for the second one, this second one is no surprise. They've been talking about it since 2016 when the last movie came out. That's right, 2016 is when Star Trek Beyond came out. But we're going to have a look at this, and it sounds horrendous. I'll put it to you this way. When they announced Star Trek Academy, everyone went, why would you do that? This thing sounds even worse. A new Star Trek movie set decades before J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 09 is reportedly in development at Paramount Pictures. That's right. He wants to do a prequel to his goddamn prequel. And it gets worse, especially when you hear who's writing the thing. So Star Trek Beyond in 2016 was the last time a Star Trek movie hit theaters, and multiple attempts to develop Star Trek 4, produced by J.J. Abrams, have failed to lift off. Meanwhile, Star Trek on Paramount Plus has launched several successful TV series, such as Discovery, now cancelled and finishing after the 5th series. By the way, no one knew it was finishing, not the cast or the crew. Star Trek Picard, finished. First 2 seasons, terrible, went out on a high. And Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which may not go past the 3rd season, as the story is running out, especially if they're going to put Pike in the wheelchair, which have blustered the Star Trek brand and IP on Paramount Plus, is also producing its first made-for-streaming movie, Star Trek Section 31, starring Academy Award winning Michelle Yeoh. You know, Section 31, the show basically that Alex Kurtzman announced when Star Trek Discovery premiered way back when, and we still have not seen any movement on this. They went from it was going to be a show, announcements are coming, it's going to be a show, and nothing came. And only after Michelle Yeoh won an Oscar did they turn around and say, it's finally greenlit, we're doing Section 31, but it's going to be a one-off special event movie exclusively for Paramount Plus. And it's been radio silence since then. There's been absolutely nothing on the Section 31 movie. Picard, as we said, finished. Didn't go down well the first 2 seasons. Nobody really tuned in for season 3, which was a shame because it was a good season. Discovery, as I said, a disaster. No one watched it. No one's watching it. And the cast and crew didn't even know it was cancelled. Which means this thing probably ends on a cliffhanger. Idiots. Strange New Worlds, who cares about Strange New Worlds? And I love that it says it blustered the Star Trek brand and IP on Paramount Plus. So much so they got rid of half of it. Yeah, let's just get rid of all the movies. Why not? We'll just keep the ones that failed. We'll keep them. What a bunch of idiots. And it continues. So here we go. Deadline is reporting that Paramount has set director Toby Hines, who did Star Wars Andor. Look, Andor, it's boring. Visually, It looks great. Acting wise, it's great. There's somewhat of an interesting story here and there in it, but it was just so slow and boring. But he only directed some of it, not even all of it. So, no real problem here. Here's the problem. And it's writer Seth Grahame-Smith who wrote Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. If you've ever seen Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, God help you, because that movie is horrendous. So is the other movie he directed, Pride, Prejudice and Zombies. Yeah, this is the guy they're tapping to write this thing. And it's to be developed, a new Star Trek movie to be produced by J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot. This new Star Trek movie is said to be an origin story set decades before Abrams' Star Trek 2009. You hear that? It's an origin story, which God. So it's set to take place decades before 2009, which took place in the alternate Calvin timeline in 2258. In addition, here's the second part. Here's the not surprising they're saying this again. The headline says Star Trek 4, which it called the final chapter of Abrams' Star Trek saga starring Chris Pine, that includes Star Trek 09, Into Darkness and Beyond, remains in active development. Good God, are they that desperate? Now, do I think either of these movies are going to happen? No, they are not going to happen. So why are they announcing this? Well, they're doing what they always do. They're testing the waters. They want to see what the reaction will be. Quick, announce a movie, tell them what the idea is, and let's see what the fans' reaction is. And of course, the fans' reaction is always the same. It's, no, why would you do that? We don't want that. And it'll be cancelled. It'll just be, oh, it's in development. They're starting to get like Disney with Star Wars. They're just announcing so many things that just never happen. No one wants J.J. Abrams anywhere near Star Trek anymore. It's also just come out, by the way, that both Simon Pegg and Justin Lin quit directing Star Trek Beyond. Not once, not twice, but 3 times they walked away from it because the studio just kept saying, "I'll do this with it. No, we want it to be this. No, do this." And they were just like, nuts to this, we're out. And they want us to believe that we're going to see not 1, not 2, but 3 movies on the big screen and 1 on the small screen. As I said, they announced Section 31 right after Michelle Yeoh won the Oscar. Nothing has ever been said about it since. Nothing. No casting, no scripts, no story details. Nothing. Absolutely radio silence. The same can be said about the Academy series. They announced that. Radio silence ever since. Nothing has come out about it. Discovery coming to an end. No one knew it was coming to an end that worked on it. I don't know how they didn't, because everyone else did. Everyone else was speaking about how it's ending. Prodigy cancelled. Lower Decks is at least getting 1 more season, and that possibly is it. Strange New Worlds will probably end after season 3. They might be able to squeeze out a season 4, or are they going to try and continue it just without Pike and put Kirk in place? God knows. It will probably end after season 3. That's my guess. Picard is already finished. Nobody really wants a Picard movie. Why would you? Even what he's saying about that is already terrible. But this is becoming the norm with Paramount. Every single year now, they are announcing movies. And it's interesting that now that the discussion is there about selling Paramount, or shares in Paramount, or Paramount merging with another studio like Warner Brothers, are they trying to just boost the profitability of Star Trek? Because they just spoke about the possibility of selling the IP itself. And what better way to up its price than say, look at the things that are in development and people that are excited about it and want it, even though no one's excited for it, nobody wants it. But it just raises the profitability of it a bit more. I think that's what they're actually doing. These movies will never see the light of day. And how could they? The amount of money they're pumping into these movies, and they never make a profit. All 3 of J.J. Abrams' Star Trek movies did not make a profit. Not one of them. It's just become the standard thing now with Paramount. Same with Disney with Star Wars. They've announced more movies for Star Wars and more directors than they've actually hired, used and filmed. And now Star Trek's becoming the same. Every single year now we get an announcement. There's a film in production. Really? That's funny. But they never just announce one movie. They always announce like between 2 and 3 movies. And here we are again. Now we've got told 3, technically 4 if you want to add in the straight to streaming movie, all at the same time. What a joke. Can't wait for next time when they announce another movie. Oh, we're going to do Deep Space Nine, just a reboot, and it's going to be on the big screen. Wouldn't put it past them. But there you go. Yet more Star Trek news. Yet more horrible Star Trek news. And let's hope none of this happens. And with that, I'll leave it there for this one. So cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.